Good morning and God bless you. Welcome to our Bible study and praying sessions. May God keep blessing you, honoring you and yours in Jesus' name. Amen. I want to look at another prayer catalyst. And this one I want to look at divine favor. If you look at that favor in several Bible translations, several of them call it charm. Few call it grace. So they translate favor as charm. So divine favor will be divine charm. The Bible says to prefer someone, especially in an unfair way. When you show somebody favor, others say it is unfair. But that is called favor. To prefer someone, especially in, and this is Merriam-Webster dictionary, to prefer someone, especially in an unfair way, to show them that you like or approve someone more than others. He may not even merit it. Maybe worse than others, but that's the one you have preferred. To approve or support someone, to regard someone as or something more than others as most likely to succeed. To regard or treat someone with favor, to be kind, to treat gently, to give support, to give somebody advantages more than others, to give somebody some advantages you don't give to others. That's what's called favor. So somebody whom you favor, you give the person some advantages which are not open to others. So these others get very difficult, find difficult to get, to give the person that easily. No wonder some Bible translations call it charm. They call it charm. So Papa Debo says that the favor is God's own charm. It's when you confer people special privileges or rights. Special privileges or rights granted to somebody which others don't have access to. It's usually a token of love. Favor is a token of love. So when you show somebody favor, actually shows that you love the person. The friendly regard shown towards somebody, especially by a superior to another person. Somebody you approve, you are considerate towards that person, or pay attention to that person. You prefer that person to others, even when that person may not be the best. You become kind to him, you become helpful to him or her. You approve, you support the person. You prefer the person above others. That's what's called divine favor. So when God gives this kind of favor to you, divine preference to you, in the place of prayer, it helps to make prayers answered easily. When others will not, if you have the same prayer point, you pray it, and then yours is answered more than others, even if you're saying the same thing. You approach a superior, somebody that has the same thing something to give to 5 people and is only one, because they have favor towards you, may even be the least qualified, but to give it to you because of favor. Genesis chapter 18, verse 1 to 6. Genesis chapter 18 says, And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day, and lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself to the ground. That's worship. Bowed himself to the ground, that's also worship. And said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in the sight, if you have considered me, if you are approved of me, if you are considered towards me, if you have preference towards me, if you have found favor in the sight, pass not away, I pray thee, for my servant, yet a little water, I pray you, be fetched and wash your feet and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort your hearts. After that you shall pass on. For therefore are you come to your servant? And they said, So do as thou hast said. He said, I know you are passing to wherever you're going to. I don't know you. But out of favor, if I have found favor on your side, please come to my house and eat. After eating, continue your journey. I don't know who you are, but if you favor me, put your favor on my face, on my forehead, and then if I ask something from you, I will get it, even when I don't deserve it. I don't desire that you should enter my house, but I'm saying that out of favor, come to my house. And the Lord said he was going to do so. He answered him that thing, even though he was on a journey, that he doesn't include Abraham. Because after all, when he was going, when they had eaten and were going, he said, shall I hear from Abraham? He wasn't planning to tell him before. He just went on his way. Shall I hear from Abraham? That's what I want to do. He now told him. Exodus chapter 3, from verse 21. He says, and I will give these people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. God said, I will put favor. I will give you favor. And it shall come to pass that when you shall go, you shall not go empty. But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor and of her that sojourneth in her house jewels of silver and jewels of gold, raiment, and ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians. When I give you my favor, you make request to men of those things which they not the ones want to give to you, and they will give them to you. Not because you merit it, but because favor is like a charm. That's the reason why they go to do all forms of charms, native daughters charms, to get favor, so that when they want to ask some things which you ordinarily say no to, favor is brought into it, and you say yes. But this one, God said, I'm the one that will do it. That you, having served the Egyptians, they will not just send you out. Whatever you ask them, they will give you. What they wouldn't have given you naturally, but because the catalyst of favor has set in. Before God puts it on you, he gives you favor before himself and then before men. So that what the answer should have been no, because I have favor in my sight, I will give it to you. Hebrews chapter 12. Verse 35. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor, divine favor, in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required. So they won't even, when they have such people do this, when God, this one is from the Spirit, God puts it, or they can even get it from the resources. When God puts it, the things you want to ask your boss, which you would have already have said no, doesn't want to give you. Maybe you have finished doing your apprenticeship, and it's time for him to settle you. He doesn't want to settle you. But if you have something in his sight, he will settle you. He will give you money more than what he gives to others. So God gave them favor, and they spoiled the Egyptians. What Egyptians would have said no to them, they said. Sometimes this word is translated grace in some settings. In Exodus chapter 33, from verse 12. And Moses said unto the Lord, see, thou sayest unto me, bring up these people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Which means you have favor before me. Other translations say you have favor before me. I have put my favor before you. I favor you. That's what it means to have grace in thy sight. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight. You know, God was one that told Moses, I have put favor before you. Moses now cashed on it. If I have favor with you, because one of the things that one of the signs of God's approval on any man of God is that until he puts that favor upon you, you'll be suffering. Say, for because I have found favor before you, I'm going to ask you something. Now, therefore, I pray thee, let me take advantage of this favor that you have given me. I pray thee, if I have found favor in thy sight, show me now thy way, that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. And he said, my presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. And he said unto him, if thy presence go not with me, carry us not up thence. For wherein shall it be known that I and the people have found grace in thy sight? Now, see how Moses now went and then used his corner intercessory wisdom to now slot in that I and people have found grace in thy sight. That's not, God didn't say that the people have found grace in his sight. After all, if you read that in text from 1 down, he was angry with them and said that because of the golden calf they made, and said that he wasn't going to go with them anymore, they should remove the earring so you can know what to do with them. She was really find favor before God. So it was Moses that found favor before God. So Moses using his intercessory skills and skill. Now rope of Israel into it. I say, so shall if that I and people have found grace in my sight. God didn't say it. He singled out Moses, you have found grace in my sight. I found favor before me. So shall we be separated, I and the people, from all the earth from all people that are upon the earth. And God said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that I have spoken. But for thou, not for you all, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name. I know thee by name. See? So what God doesn't want to do, if you have favor before God, he will do it. If you are one of those that have favor in the presence of God, you ask God for difficult things, he will do it, not because he wants to, but because he will not tell you no. Like he will not tell Abraham no. Like he will not tell Moses no. That's when she was the man became busy. And Moses now said, person, I'm ready with God. He will not tell Samuel no. He will not tell Jesus no. So when you have divine favor, you can dare ask God for the impossible, and he will do it. And I'll tell you, I'm doing it not because I am so small, because you have found grace in my sight, because I have favored you, because I have approved of you. So whatever it is you can do to get divine favor, please do it. Very important. It makes prayer easy. It's like charm. God puts his charm on you. Go before him. He charms him. Go before men. He charms them. Anything you ask, you get it. Get divine favor upon your life. Numbers chapter 11. Numbers 11. From verse 10. When Moses heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord was kindled greatly. Moses also was displeased. And Moses said unto the Lord, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant, and wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight? Why have I not found favor? I thought you said I had it before. What happened? That thou layest the burden of all the people upon me. Have I conceived all these people? Have I begotten them, that thou shouldest say unto me, carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father beareth the sucking child, unto the land which thou sworest unto their fathers? Whence should I have flesh to give unto all these people? For they weep unto me, saying, give us flesh that we may eat. I am not able to bear all these people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if thou dealt thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand, if I have found favor in thy sight, and let me not see my wretchedness. And the Lord said unto Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will take of the Spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them. And they shall bear the burden of people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone. God knew that the work was too much for Moses. Moses now asked God, if I have favor in your sight, why will you leave me to carry all this burden alone? No man can carry the burden of ministry alone. If God favors you, he will give you men that will help you. Nobody runs ministry alone. That ministry alone is just a personal business. When God helps you, you can't run ministry alone. You need men that will help you. Because the burden is too much. Nobody can do ministry alone. When God is ready for you, he will give you men that will run ministry for you. Especially if you have favor before him. Because you have disadvantage of lack of men. When God favors you, he gives you men that will help you in ministry. You don't carry the burden alone. You don't carry the financial burden alone, ministerial burden alone, prayer burden alone, spiritual burden alone, physical land burden alone, access burden alone. Because you are the only one there thinking about it. It's not good. Moses said, why am I the only one bearing all this burden? Am I the one that begot all of them? Why are you treating me like this? That was when God now told him, okay, I will go and get 70 men so I can put the Spirit in you upon them so that they can help you. And they shall bear the burden of who with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone. He knows you shouldn't bear it alone. But until you have favor before him, you'll be doing ministry alone. Suffering in ministry. Laboring for God. Without assistance. 2 Samuel chapter 15 from verse 23. And all the people country wept with a loud voice, and all the people passed over, and the king also himself passed over the brook Kidron, and all the people passed over toward the way of the wilderness. And lo, Zadok also and all the Levites were with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of God, and they sat down the ark of God, and they set down the ark of God, and Abiathar went up until all the people had done passing out of the city. And the king said unto Zadok, carry back the ark of God into the city. If I shall find favor in thine eyes, in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring me again and show me both it and his habitation. Now I'm going on exile. My son has sent me on exile. If I have found favor before God, he will bring me back to my place. I will see the ark of God. Take the ark back. Don't let the ark travel with me. Carry the king. And the king said unto him, carry back the ark of God into the city. If I shall find favor in the eyes of the Lord, if I find favor, if I get divine favor, the sign that God has favored me is that he will return me to my place. I will not die in exile. And when I return to my place, I will see the ark again. I will come to worship in the tent of God again. But if he thought, say, I have no delight in this. So when you have favor before God, he delights in you. He has delight in you. So when you don't have favor, he has no delight in you. But if he thought, say, I have no delight in thee, behold, here am I. Let him do to me as me good to him. So the opposite of favor is that God does not delight in you. Do anything you want to do, he doesn't want to see it. He said, take away your offerings, I don't want to see them. Your songs, say, they are noise in my ears, I don't want to hear them. So when he has favor, when you have the favor, he delights in you. David said that the sign that God delights in you, that he shows you his favor, and even if you have gone on exile, you return back. You may have problems, but there will be a solution. He will restore you. When God gives you favor, he delights in you. David has told us here. The sign of God's favor is approval and delight in you. And won't allow you to die in the place of in the wilderness, in exile. He will return you back. The king said also unto Zadok the priest, Are not thou a seer? Return into the city in peace, and your 2 sons with you, Ahimaaz thy son, and Jonathan son of Abiathar. See, I will tarry in the plain of the wilderness until there come word from which satisfy me. Zadok therefore and Abiathar carried the ark of God again back to Jerusalem, and they tarried there. And David went up by the ascent, the Mount Olivet, and wept as he went up, and he had his head covered, and he went barefoot. And all the people that was with him covered every man his head, and they went up, weeping as they went up. And did God delight in him? Yes. Delighted in him, had favor him, and he brought him back as a king in Israel and Judah. If he delights in you, he will restore you. He will restore you. Nehemiah chapter 1 verse 11. Nehemiah chapter 1 verse 11. O Lord, I beseech thee, let now thy ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servants, and to the prayer of thy servants, who desire to fear thy name and prosper. I pray thee, the servant this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man, for I was the king's cupbearer. We'll see that he was asking for God to show him mercy before the cupbearer. And we'll come to see that this mercy, that what we call mercy, is not possible without favor. God favors you, then he has mercy on you. Or he has mercy on you and he favors you. Without favor, there won't be no mercy. He favors you, then shows you mercy. He delights in you, then shows you his mercy. We'll come to that later. You say, what I want to ask the king will be difficult, but let me find favor before the king. Whatever I'm going to ask him, he will do it. Whatever I ask the king, let the king do it for me. Chapter 2 from verse 1 to 8, it says, It came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was before him. And I took up the wine, and I gave it to the king. Now I had not been formally sad in his presence. For the king said unto me, What is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. And I was very so afraid, because you're not supposed to serve the king unhappy. You should be the best in your mood for serving the king, whether happy or not. That's what it is. And said unto the king, Let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad, when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof consumed with fire? Then the king said unto me, For what dost thou make request? So I prayed to the God of heaven. What are you now asking for them? He said he went to ask God. He went to pray to God first. Then, after I prayed to God, he now made a request to the king. And I said to the king, If it please the king, and if the servant had found favor in thy sight, if I've obtained favor, you pray to God to give him favor before the king. Pray to God to give him favor before the king. Say, King God, please, whatever I'm going to ask this man, let him grant them to me. And thy servant had found favor in thy sight, that thou wilt send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it. And the king said unto me, The queen also said by him, For how long shall thy journey be? And when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time. Moreover, I said unto the king, If it please the king, let letters be written to the governors beyond the river, that they may convey me over till I come to Judah. And letter unto Asaph, the keeper of the king's forest, and he made that he may give me timber to make beams for the gates of the palace, which appertain to the house, for the wall of the city, and for the house that I shall enter into. And the king granted me according to the good hand of the Lord and God upon me. See, this good hand of God upon me is called favor. The king, all the things that the king did for me was according to the measure of the favor of God in my life. That's what granted me. The measure of the favor that the king gave me was the measure of favor that God has put in my life. Whatever I ask the king, which normally Kingsley should have said, how does it concern me that your gates are destroyed? How does it concern me? You're a slave for crying out loud. Do your work. But he prayed to God, God give me favor. And when God gave him favor, whatsoever he asked the king gave to him. Even when he now asked for them to make a preparation for his movement, the king should have said, must ask me for everything according to the favor of God upon my life. According to the favor of God upon my life. So did the king favor me. So when God favors you, he grants your petitions. When God favors you, he makes men to do what you're asking them. The thing about divine favor is that when God gives you favor, you ask God, you get it. You ask men, you get it. You ask God, you get it. You ask men, you get it. The things that should have been said, no. Can you imagine asking your enemies to give you what they want to use to build your house when they were the ones that made you raided your house, raided your nation, and made all of you captives. But when favor comes in, you ask the king to go and rebuild the place where they destroyed. He will grant it to you. That's what favor can do. Job chapter 10, Job. Verse 12. Thou hast granted me life and favor, and thy visitation has preserved my spirit. Say, God, you have granted me life and favor. In fact, in your favor is life. When you give me favor, life becomes enjoyable. You have granted me life and favor, so let God grant us favor. Let God grant us favor. That's what makes life enjoyable. Let God grant us favor on this earth. That's what makes life enjoyable. Thou hast granted me life and favor, and thy visitation has preserved my spirit, and these things hast thou hid in thy heart. I know that this is with thee. The divine visitation you are asking God to give you is subsequent upon his favor. If he favors you, then he will visit you. If he doesn't favor you, he will not visit you. If God favors you, he will visit you. If he doesn't, he will not visit you. So you should pray for God to grant you favor. What is life without favor? Life is hard without favor. He has granted me life, now not grant me favor. And that is what will guarantee your visitation, which will preserve my life, preserve my spirit, preserve my ministry. Job 33 verse 26. He shall pray unto God and he will be favorable unto him. So when you have favor, you pray to God, he answers you. He answers you. He doesn't put your tears in a bucket, in a bottle, waiting for the due day. He shall pray unto God and shall be favorable unto him, and he shall see his face with joy. You see, you ask and you receive because God favors you. Otherwise, people have asked and asked and asked. Some have knocked and knocked and knocked. Some have sought and sought and sought. And he shall see his face with joy, but shall render unto man his righteousness. You will begin to see that God is a righteous God when God shows you favor. Your righteousness will be rewarded when God shows you favor. Or else you see that you sit down and you say, how you wish you are not righteous, because you'll be regretting your righteousness. No reward for your righteousness, so you are righteous. I mean, after if you're righteous, does it profit God? It is God favoring you. And he makes the little things you do for him magnify them in his presence because he delights in you and pays you well. Otherwise, he won't pay you well. You will labor and nothing to show for it. Beside righteousness, beside your faith, is elements of favor. If God favors you, you will see his face, he will smile on you. that was the reason why God told Moses to tell Aaron, see the way you should put my name upon them so I can bless them. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon. That is favor. The Lord make his face shine upon you. That's what God told Moses to tell Aaron, that you should be telling him to favor his children. He's favor you and grant you peace. Otherwise, you will not have peace. God said you should be praying for him to favor you. He said, the Lord make his face shine upon you. May his countenance to shine upon you. You should be praying for mercy and the favor of God upon your life on a daily basis. Ezra chapter 6. Ezra chapter 6. Chapter 22 says, and kept the Passover of unleavened bread 7 days with joy. For the Lord had made them joyful and turned the heart of the king of Assyria unto them to strengthen their hands in the work of the house of the God of Israel. So God became favorable to them and made even the enemy, the king of Assyria. Assyria and Israel and Judah were not pally. So enemy number one, Assyria oppress you in your own estate. Now the Assyria that should have been oppressing them all the while. When the people of God came in, the one that were oppressing them were now the ones providing for their ministry. He strengthened their hands to do the work of God. So the king of Assyria gave them ministry support ministerially, financially, gave them things to use to do the ministry, even though they were initially their enemies. When God's favor is upon your life, even your enemies will support what you are doing. So if you don't, your enemies don't support what you are doing. Go for God's favor. Even those of contrary religion will support what you are doing when God's favor is upon your life. And kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with joy. For the Lord had made them joyful. The Lord made them joyful and turned the heart of the king of Assyria unto them. So he made the Assyrian to be favorable towards them. The king of Assyria was favorable towards them. He gave them favor before the Assyrians, so that he provided them things to use to do the work of the house of the Lord. That's favor. Favor is a catalyst, a very strong catalyst to prayers. You don't have to start crying out for it. Chapter 7 verse 6 to 9. This Ezra went up from Babylon. He was a really scribe in the laws of Moses, which the Lord God of Israel had given. And the king granted him all his requests. The king granted him all his requests. The king granted him all, not some. All his requests according to the hand of his God upon him. According to divine favor on the life of Ezra. The level of favor you get, level of acceptance, acceptability, people do things for you, people favor you. The king granted him all that he ever requested, according in measurement, in tandem with the favor of God upon his life. When God was upon your life, you don't cry for everything. There are things that God, men will do for you. I mean, God just gives you access to men. You say it and men do it for you. So you don't have to spend 21 days in fast and prayer to get to one favor. And there went up some of the children of Israel and of the priests and the Levites and the singers and the potters and the Nethinims unto Jerusalem in the 7th year of Adonijah the king. And he came to Jerusalem in the 5th month, which was the 7th year. For upon the first day of the first month began we to go up from Babylon. And on the first day of the 5th month came he to Jerusalem according to traveling mercies because of divine favor. According to the good hand of his God upon him. Traveling mercies. Journeying mercies. Journeying mercies because God favored him. He wasn't a victim to bandits. God preserved him. He favored him and preserved him. Favored him and protected him. Verses 7 and 28. Blessed be the Lord God of our fathers, which hath put such a thing in as this in the king's sight, to beautify the house of the Lord which is in Jerusalem. When the king now began to roll out all the things that would be done for them, everything they needed, he provided the ones that from his treasury, or from the international treasury, overwhelming sacrifice that king was going to be given on a daily basis, so that there would be nothing that would fail in the spirit of God's work. went into prayer. Blessed be the God of our fathers, which had put such a thing as this in the heart of the king. The heart of the king is like waters in the hand of the Lord. To beautify the house of the Lord which is in Jerusalem, and extended mercy unto me before the king and his counselors, and before all the king's mighty. And I was strengthened as the hand of the Lord was upon me. So God granted me mercy. This mercy that you saw God giving me was because before them was because his favor went ahead. Favor went ahead and opened door for extended mercy. Favor opened door and mercy was extended to me. Favor opened door and mercy was given to me. Favor opened door, mercy was shown to me by ungodly kings. Before all the kings, mighty princes, and I was strengthened as the hand of the Lord my God was upon me. And I gathered together out of Israel chief men to go up with me. All the things I've seen other people do for me is because God has shown me favor. That's why you say, if God has called you ministry, tarry till you have favor before God and men before you leave, or else you will suffer, you will eat concrete in the ministry. That God has called you is not enough. Labor till you get his mercy and you get his favor in the things he has called you to do. Favor before God and before men. Exodus chapter 8 from verse 15. And I gathered them together to the river that runneth to Ahava, and there abode we in tents 3 days. And I viewed the people and the priests, and found there none of the sons of Levi. Then set I for Eleazar, for Ariel, for Shemaiah, for Elnathan, and for Jarib, and for Elnathan, and for Nathan, and for Zechariah, and for Meshullam, chief men, also for Jarib, and for Elnathan, men of understanding. And I sent them with commandments unto Iddo the chief at the place Casiphia. And I told them that they should say unto Iddo and to his brethren, the Nethinims at the place Casiphia, that they should bring unto us ministers for the house of our God. And by the good hand of our God upon us, they brought us a man of understanding. Because of the favor that God has upon us, he gave us men of substance, men of worth, men of repute, the exact man needed for the job. According to divine favor upon our lives, he gave us the exact people that will deliver the work very well. By the good hand of our God upon us, they brought us a man of understanding, the sons of Mali, son of Levi, the son of Israel, and Shebariah with his sons and his brethren 18. And Hashabia, and with him Yeshua and sons of Merari, his brethren and their sons 20. This and that. Then I proclaimed a fast there at the river of Ahava, that we might afflict ourselves before our God, to seek of him a right way for us and for our little ones, and for all our substance. For I was ashamed to require of the king a band of soldiers and horsemen to help us against the enemy in the way. If I had asked him, he would have given me, because all I asked for, I got all of them, according to the good hand of God upon my life. But I didn't want to ask him, because I didn't want to belittle my God. That's what Ezra was saying here. I was ashamed to require of the king a band of soldiers and horsemen to help us against the enemy in the way, because we had spoken unto the king, saying, the hand of our God is upon all them for good that seek him, but his power and his wrath against all them that seek him. So we fasted and besought our God for this, and he was entreated of us. Imagine, he was going he was traveling. Instead of him to go with escorts, he thought that he was going to pray, and he prayed, and God answered him. Because he said that he didn't want to beg the king to give them he didn't want to beg the king to give them soldiers. And he had told the king that God was able. So that asking the king to give him soldiers was going to be belittling the power of his God. But if he had asked him, he would have got it. Because everything he asked the king gave him. Verse 136 says, And they prayed and they answered. I know those who have fasted and prayed and they will still put into the hand of bandits. Then we departed from the river of Ahava on the 12th day of the first month to go unto Jerusalem. And the hand of our God was upon us. And he delivered us from the hand of the enemy and of such as lay in wait by the way. They were bandits that time, but we had divine favor that translated to divine preservation and divine protection. We had divine favor. We cried to God for preservation, and his favor upon our lives gave us the preservation. And we came to Jerusalem and there abode there 3 days. There were bandits on the way, there were terrorists on the way, but they didn't touch us. They didn't even disturb us. I and my group. Why? Because God's favor was resting upon our lives. Now on the 4th day was the silver and gold and the vessels weighed in the house of our God by the hand of Meremoth, the son of Uriah the priest. And with him was Eleazar the son of Phinehas. And with him was Josabad the son of Jeshua. And Nodiah the son of Binui Levite. By number and by weight of everyone, and all the weights was written at that time. Also the children of those that have been carried away, which were come out of captivity, offered burnt offerings unto the God of Israel. 12, those who came from captivity, 12 bullocks for all Israel, 90 and 6 rams, 96 rams from those who went into captivity. Imagine. Why are they bringing them out? Divine favor. As they say, I'm just going to let us rest and build ourselves first. But those who came out from captivity were the ones giving these heavy offerings. 12 bullocks for all Israel, 90 and 6 rams, 70 and 7 lambs, 12 he goats for a sin offering. All this was a burnt offering. And they delivered the king's commission unto the king's lieutenants and to the governors on this side. And they furthered the people and the house of God. And when they gave the letter that the king gave to them, these people now came also to assist them in doing God's work. People that should be opposing the work and are the ones helping out. Why? Divine favor. Divine favor was at work. First Samuel chapter 2. Verse 26. And the child Samuel grew up and was in favor with both the Lord and also with men. That's what every prophet. Don't run with your what does the Lord. Don't run with your ministry. But every minister of the gospel. Stay till you get the seal of divine favor. The seal that has sent you is with it, that it gives you favor before God and men. Because you are the prophet. It's not you may give you the visions, but you're not going to do the vision alone. I'll say write the vision and make it plain. Now those who can run with you can read it. If he doesn't know what you will not give you mentor to run with it. That's why you will not give you money. Gives you nothing. Doesn't give you anything. You have the gifts, have the graces, but no congregation, but no helpers. What is it? That is the definition of lack of divine favor. If he delights in you, he will give you men. Delights in you, he will give you resources. So it's not about the work he has given you. Does he delight in you? If he does not delight in you, he will not give you men. The boy Shazan grew and was in favor with the Lord and also with men. Tarry till you get favor with God and with men. Tarry till you get favor with God and with men. Tarry till you get favor with God and with men. Tarry till you get favor with God and with men. Tarry till you get favor with God and with men. What was the essence, what was the result of Samuel having favor before God and man? Look inside. First chapter 3. Chapter 3. From verse 19. And Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and did let none of his words fall to the ground. God favored him, and if Samuel said it will come to pass. He favored him and backed up all his word. It wasn't fall to the ground. And all Israel from Dan even to Beersheba knew that Samuel was established to be the prophet of the Lord. He's not the only prophet in the Bible, but the Bible says that God established him. God established Samuel a prophet. Why? He favored him, or he established him. Not a prophet of God will call you for 220 something years, no sign of his growth in your life. What is it? It is the division of it is lack of favor, lack of divine favor. Did God call you? Yes, but did he favor you? No. And then those who have commissioned in afterwards. When the Bible died, then when they died, they favored him. Jeremiah never had favor. Cried every day of his life. But God called him, said, I've made you my battle axe, I've equipped you, made your face like a brazen wall, all manner of things because but he never favored Jeremiah for a single day. Yet he called him. I refused to be Jeremiah prophet. Not pick his mantle. Refused that. I'm not Jeremiah prophet. And the Lord established him to be a prophet in Israel. And the Lord appeared again in Shiloh, for the Lord revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh. God established him by favor. Favored him, established him, and didn't allow his word to fall to the ground. Luke chapter 2 verse 40. Luke 2:40. And the child grew and waxed strong in spirit, filled with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. Talking about Jesus. Talking about Jesus. He grew. So for them, and when they had performed all things according to the law of the Lord, they returned into Galilee to their own city. And what happened? God began to magnify himself in the life of Jesus. If Jesus Christ needed divine favor, why won't he need it? Jesus was God himself, yet he needed divine favor in this world. Why won't he need it? That's why all his prayers were answered. The only one that you can say was not answered was when he prayed at Gethsemane, but that was the prayer of consecration, which he said, God, let your will be done, not mine. But on this place that God had, every single prayer he prayed was answered. Why? And God showed him all he was. He said, what I say after I do it. When I first stay awake in night, but you see nothing. You see evil spirits. But Jesus Christ, when he went tonight to pray, he will now see what the Father was planning to do, and he will do it. Many of us prayed more than Jesus. It was not just 3 years. It was only 3 years. All the way he was carpenter, and it was 3 years. So for some prayed more than for 50 years, and yet there's no reward of the prayers. Luke chapter 2 verse 52. So, and the child grew and waxed strong in spirit. He developed, filled with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. The grace of God and the favor of God was upon him. The favor of God was upon him. Verse 52. And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man. Jesus Christ increased. So, some of us don't have it, number one. How much more increasing? Pray for divine favor. Let it be deposited in your life. Let it begin to increase. Jesus Christ was increasing. And he increased in wisdom and stature and in favor. If Jesus Christ needed favor, I'm sure you need it. You need it even more than him. There are so many things about it. I just want to give us very few about favor and prayer. Psalm 40 verse 5 to 7. Psalm 30. verse 5 to 7 says, "For his anger endureth but a moment. In his favor is life." If God doesn't favor you, life will be miserable for you. That was why Job says, Job 10 verse 12, talk about it was him that granted us life and favor. Without him, no restriction. Not life only. Let him add favor